into the Monday Morning Quarterback UK with your boys Ben, Dami, Kriski and Bids. How are you doing today, boys? How's the week been?
It's been alright, man. I went to watch Operation Mincemeat on Saturday.
What's that?
It's about World War II and the British government and MI5. They basically concocted this secret mission in order to move the Nazis away from Sardinia or Sicily.
Yo, I didn't expect this at all.
Not from you, no.
Is this a play?
Yeah, it's a musical, yeah.
Wait, what?
It's a musical.
That definitely
That
was
was
your idea.
even less expected.
Yeah, it was really good
You
though.
love the cinema, man. I just assumed.
Yeah, no, but I love the cinema and I love the theatre. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Wow, anyone top that?
I don't know if I can top it, but went to support a colleague play in a rugby match, and there's a double header at Richmond, and she seems like she's pretty good. Like she's a good flyer. She's just recovering from an ACL injury, like most people are, and they got pumped.
Oh, okay.
Pumped.
How bad?
44-3.
Ooh.
44-3.
Yikes.
It's quite bad.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
rough.
that's not good.
It was rough, and she got a couple of us down from work, came to support her.
Oh no.
One of my mate's little sister was randomly playing as well. But they're both good players, but yeah, they got pumped.
You get all the colleagues down and that happens.
Yeah, blowout, complete.
Getting an audience.
Yeah,
Is rough.
yeah.
Did she turn up to work today? Or?
Probably. She's calm. She did well, to be fair. She did well. But yeah, that's how I spent my Saturday, and then just a big piss up, like just rugby in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Okay, what about Kriski?
Mate, just went to the pub, had a few Guinness on Friday night, a little Irish pub down in southeast London, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any shout out for them?
I don't actually remember what the place was called now.
Nice.
But
You did say you had a few Guinnesses.
yeah, good Guinness as well. So yeah, I was happy. That set me up all weekend.
Nice.
How about you, Ben?
I was at Spa.
Oh,
Very
I was at
nice.
Spa for the weekend. It was nice. It was James' birthday, so did a nice little spa trip. Banging Spa.
Nice and relaxed.
Oh man, it was nice.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Keep the slippers?
Nah, slippers weren't that good actually.
Oh,
The
mate.
robe was nice. And the room was great. And dinner was one of those places where you had to wear collared shirts.
Oh
It's one of them ones,
yeah.
Nice place, man. It was nice.
Okay.
Glad I brought a polo shirt. That's what I'm saying. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was not at all prepared for that. Like, well, if I'm going on a spa weekend, I'm not bringing a full suit, am I? Like, I'm just like, why would I do that? But I
Do
didn't
you have a
realise.
full suit?
Nah, I don't do that. I don't do that. But I didn't realise it was that kind of place until we
Yeah.
got there, and they had like a piano player at dinner, and
So you were still the most underdressed person there?
yeah, 100%. There was a guy in a full suit on a family dinner there. Family dinner, he's in a full suit with his girlfriend, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's unnecessary.
and the parents.
Yeah, he's trying to show out.
full
You
suits.
won.
Yeah, Ben just looked like the start of CEO, just there rocking up a little polo and some
Well, I
flip-flops.
had a cardigan on me too.
What's your beef with cardigans now? Like, I don't understand.
They look nice, man. What's your
Do they?
I think they look nice.
I can't remember that last person I saw wear a cardigan besides you.
Probably CEO. He brought it up.
All right.
Cool. Anyway, as always, like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, leave us a review. It helps us out quite a lot. But we'll get straight into the juicy juice. Kriski, talk to us.
Okay, so anyone know Dante? I can't even say his name.
You
He's
practiced
got-
before as
I
well.
know. Dontavian, that was it. Dontavian Wicks. Anyone know him? No?
Never.
Hell no.
No, so he plays for the Packers. So he's a rookie wide receiver, and he's been starting to get a little bit more reps each week. And then, but this was his first game where he's managed to get a good amount of yards. So he ended up with 91 yards off just 3 receptions.
Yo.
Wow.
So yeah, starting to see more of the ball. So it's starting to actually become quite a big part of this offense for the Packers, and I'm sure Ben will touch on it throughout the episode at some point. But it was actually a good win for the Packers, which was surprising as well.
Don't look at me, man.
Do you want to just turn him away? Or?
But then, yeah, another couple of shout outs. One for you, Bids. So Stone Smart, your Chargers.
Yeah, man.
His second season in the league, and then he finally got his first touchdown ever. Yeah, 51 yards.
One reception, 51 yards.
Yeah, one
Congratulations to
reception.
him, man.
Hey, big up Stone Smart. Great name.
Crazy.
And then lastly,
Great name.
the New York Giants. See, I'm touching on all you boys this week. I love it.
Yeah.
So Tom DeVito. Yeah, Dami, tell us about his performance quickly.
He might be that guy.
Wow, okay.
No,
No,
that's
might
way
be
too.
like
no.
Relax.
Steady on.
Okay. Well, he threw he threw for 3 touchdown passes, 246 yards, and a really nice pass rate of 137.7.
Yeah, it's not many.
Which is probably the highest the Giants have had in like the last 5 years.
I thought you were about to say
Yeah.
highest this week.
Yeah.
No,
We'll get onto that
we'll
later.
get
We'll
onto
touch on
that.
that later.
He got sacked 9 times in that game.
Yeah, man, that's also something I was going to get onto later. But a bag of times.
9?
A bag of
A bag
time.
of times.
But he was still 18 of 26. That's bad. It's pretty good. He's not that guy.
He's not.
But
bad.
that's a good performance.
He's good.
It's a good performance.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, he's got that.
They were the wild performances this week, so yeah. So yeah, touched on all your teams, so well done, boys.
Nice.
Yeah, mate.
Thank you.
Cool. We'll get on to our usual college flavour. We usually do a Colorado Buffaloes update. Those of us that are watching every week, we're not going to do that anymore. It's been rough. And just to give a very quick summary, because this will be the last time we're speaking about them, they lost 56-14 to quite a bad team in Washington State.
Oh.
It was 56-7 going into the fourth. Shad Sanders got injured. It didn't go well. It was rough.
Bad injury or?
It wasn't that bad, but it knocked him out of the game. He got hit twice.
Yeah.
I think he got one in the knee, and then like his hand. He's apparently couldn't. I was watching the interview afterwards. He couldn't really grip the ball, so I think they were like, "No, we'll just take him out." He's but still rough.
What a weird roller coaster of a season.
Yeah, crazy.
It was like all up and then just all
Just-
down. It wasn't even like the highs and lows. It was just high and then low.
Yeah, I'm not even. You know, we said celebrities want to be there. I'm not even sure Prime wants to be there anymore. I think he's just seeing this. He wasn't that hard on the team afterwards, but like, yeah, he's been like, I've been complimenting our team for not quitting on us, but they did quit on us a bit in this game, so we had to go at them at halftime. And then they did show up in the second half and try their best.
Did they?
Didn't look like it. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yeah.
What we'll do instead is a bit of a playoff watch. I got quite a lot of stuff, but we're just going to touch on a couple of teams. So we're getting close to playoff season in college. Like we're getting like a couple of weeks away now before we start looking at bowl games, and then the playoffs starting, which will be Jan. So Florida State, we spoke about FSU Seminoles.
Mm-hmm.
Just a team name for you that I know you love. They were 4th. They've now dropped to 5th. But the reason they dropped to 5th was because Jordan Travis, who some of you may know, we spoke about him at the start of the year, about him. He looked primed for a big year. Florida State looking really good. I had them, I think, 9th in my like top 10 ranking when we did it really early on in the season. They were 4th. They were top 4. They're 11-0 right now. That's strong. But with that injury, like we're not going to post it to socials. We would normally post that kind of thing to socials, but I don't want to post this one. But his ankle snapped.
Yeah,
Seriously,
It
was
was
that bad?
It was
rough. It was a hip tackle.
Yeah.
They're getting brought up a lot now.
What's it called? The hip dip or hip drop?
Yeah, the hip
drop.
drop. Just a hip drop.
Yeah.
That's sorry, the hip drop. Yeah, hip drop. It's
That doesn't
landed.
feel like that's the thing, and surely this isn't the first season that these sort of tackles have been done. So I don't understand why they've given it this new name that to try and like,
It's
give it.
It's
I
the
don't know.
next.
It's not, but like you see it and then it's like, it looks so horrible
It
when
looks
it
bad.
happens. Like
Yeah.
it looks so bad because you drop down on their ankle and
Yeah.
then you roll them,
Yeah.
and it's like of course their ankle's gonna get destroyed by that.
There's been a couple of high profile ones this year, and this is the next big thing. It was
Okay.
concussions before, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about concussions because Tua got those rough concussions. So everyone was hot on concussions a few years ago, and then more recently, now it's the hip drop. Now people are like, okay, we're on it with concussions. It's always the next boogeyman. It's always the next thing they want to get out of the game.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in the off-season, but so Florida State played really well against North Alabama and won 58-13, but still somehow dropped out of the top 4, which is what you need to be in to get into the playoffs. So that's going to be interesting. They play Florida, the Florida Gators, in the next game, so if they comfortably beat them, they could be in a shout at getting into top 4.
Okay.
The team that took their spot was Washington. We've spoken about the Huskies before.
Huskies.
They jumped into 4th because they played a good Oregon State team. They played Washington State, which is the team I just spoke about, which is that just destroyed Colorado, but that's not really saying a huge amount like we've spoken about. They should comfortably win. Michael Penix Jr., we've spoken about Michael Penix as well, still in with an outside shot at the Heisman. Like, now Jordan Travis is fully out of it. He's 3rd, so it looks he's still in with a shout. He'll probably end up going to the ceremony.
Who's he behind?
Bo Nix and...
It's not Drake, mate, is it?
No.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, he's dropped way back. I can't remember who top one is. I'll look it up in a sec. But so they should comfortably win. Penix still in an outside shot, but really what he's trying to do is raise his draft stock. So he's currently expected to go top 10, maybe as high as 8th, but he's like the 3rd rated QB behind
Drake, May, and Caleb.
Caleb, exactly. So we'll see on that one. Georgia, Ohio State, and Michigan are pretty comfortable top 3 right now. Could be some movement next week though.
Ohio State play Michigan next week.
Ohio State, Michigan, one of the biggest games of the season. So second play third at 5 o'clock. It's not on the televised slate of games, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
But then the winner of that plays for the Big Ten championship, because the winner of the Big Ten East plays the winner of the Big Ten West, which is already Iowa.
So confusing, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'll ever get my head around
We
it.
don't even need another explanation.
No.
Nah, we won't do it. But that's for the conference championship. Both of those teams will likely stay in the playoffs unless if they're even slightly competitive, they'll stay in, because Washington and Florida State aren't as good as Ohio and Ohio State and Michigan, so sort of irrelevant at this point. And finally, we'll mention Georgia because we kind of have to.
Go Dogs.
It's the classic Georgia Tech matchup every year. Georgia currently favoured by 23, should be pretty comfortable, and they'll coast to the playoffs in first place. There's no way they're dropping out. I mean, they would have to get blown out by Georgia Tech for that even to be a consideration.
Yeah.
I think it's not really a consideration at this point.
On that Heisman race, it's Jaden Daniels.
That's it. It's the Michigan
LSU.
QB.
LSU's QB.
LSU's QB?
Yeah.
Oh, it's McCarthy who's the JJ McCarthy.
But Marvin Harrison Jr. is 4th.
Yeah, but it's also like 33-1.
Yeah.
He's a wide receiver. Right?
Yeah, he's going to go as the top
it's got American betting. I don't understand what plus 475.
Oh, yeah, don't worry about
I don't know what that means.
Don't worry about that.
Special mention to Sky Sports for getting the rights to show college football games.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge for the college game in the UK.
Yeah.
So,
Starts next week.
Yeah.
They start. I thought when you put it in the group chat the other day, it starts next season. Then I saw the advert pop up, and I was like, next Saturday.
Yeah. No, it started the week just gone.
Started the week just gone. Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was gonna say then. Apologies, Dami. I know we got your birthday party Saturday. Stay and watch college football now.
Cancel,
Sorry,
mate.
mate.
It's Louisville, Kentucky is the first game, 5 o'clock on Saturday. So
I'd rather watch that than Demi.
Yeah.
you should be watching it.
Don't worry about it.
Me and you handle birthday parties differently though. He's just sat in the corner, just sipping his drink, watching you. So if you are getting into watching college football, definitely recommend. We spoke about it a lot at the start of the season, how much I love watching it. I know some of you guys do as well. It's so entertaining. Maybe because we're this late into the season, it's not great, but hopefully they'll be showing the playoffs, which would be sensational. So I think that's going to be really good this year. So well worth a watch if you're just chilling Saturday night. Cool. We'll get on to our next segment, Game of the Week. Dami, kick us off.
Right, so my game of the week was a divisional matchup, the NFC North, Lions versus the Bears. So before this game, I was expecting a really comfortable win for the Lions. What I didn't realise was that Justin Fields was going to be back for the Bears, and then became a lot closer than I thought it would. They were winning. They were up 26-14 with 4 minutes left, and they ended up losing 31-26.
Yeah.
So Jared Goff threw 3 really ugly picks.
Bro, he heard that we were calling people Captain Deception. He's trying to compete.
Honestly,
He wanted that title. He was like, the superhero job up for grabs. I want it. Yeah.
honestly, he was really bad in the course of that game, but he fixed up in the last 4 minutes. A touchdown from David Montgomery to actually take the lead, and then a massive Aiden Hutchinson forced fumble, which led to a safety at the back of the end zone.
I didn't get that, so explain it. He sort of just started kicking the ball. He kicked the ball back, and then what happened?
So basically, if a team's on offense, if the ball gets taken away from them, so it's fumbled or they get tackled in their end zone, it is a safety. As in the other team gets 2 points.
Right, but no one got tackled into the end zone.
Yeah, but the ball went out of the end zone. It literally.
So because the
out
offensive lineman kicked the ball back.
Touchback in rugby.
Okay.
Similar kind of principle.
Okay.
Yeah, because the ball got out the back of the field. Yeah.
If the defense recovers it, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to. So and then that's why. Yeah, it was a safety, and then he just booted the ball.
He did. He absolutely.
And if it's a safety, you get the ball back as well. So if you get your 2 points, you get the ball as well.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because you might take a safety to avoid conceding a touchdown.
Yeah.
Thanks, and we'll have the ball now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I think the Bills did that last season, actually.
Yeah. Sometimes you take safeties deliberately if you're trying to end the game.
So that was my game of the week.
Just a quick one on that. How close was Jared Goff to being on fix-up? Is he on fix-up?
he's not on the fix up because they got the win. But if he does that again,
he dug him out.
He could have thrown like 3-4 more picks as well.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the I think 1 or 2 of the 3 that he threw weren't technically his fault. It's one of them ones where it bounced off someone's head or something, and someone the defense catches it.
Yeah, like the Baker Mayfield one.
But it could have been a lot more than 3.
Yeah, no, he had a really poor game, but I think some other people. But we'll find out in the fix-up list.
But he puts the Lions in a strong position now.
I mean,
8-3, and their best record since I think the 60s. I think I saw.
Yeah,
which is just insane.
Yeah, it's wild.
Bids, talk to us. What do you like?
I went for the Ravens-Bengals. Ravens won 34-20 in the end. I think we don't often pick the Thursday night games, and obviously it was a big one, so I wanted to just give it a mention. 2 AFC North rivals. But it was an injury-plagued game. Like it was, it was pretty rough. Burrow with a wrist ligament injury, which has put him out for the season. Which meant Jake Browning came in, and Jamar Chase had 2 receptions for 12 yards. You put your backup in, and you can't even hit your best wide receiver. Like I don't know. Rough. But also Mark Andrews with an ankle injury in the first quarter.
Another hip.
Another hip drop, which put him out for the season. But yeah, it was a good performance from both. Well, I say good performance from Lamar again. Gus just carries on scoring touchdowns. I'm keeping him in my fantasy team, and the Gus bus continues. The Gus bus continues.
Oh, wow,
I don't even know how many consecutive touchdowns games he scored a touchdown in, but it's probably 4 or 5 now. But yeah, good performance all around. But just one thing to note was the game stopped in the second quarter because a drone flew over the stadium.
Seriously?
And people tweeted out saying, "Where's Jim Harbaugh?"
Oh no!
Just for the viewers, why were they saying that?
You tell them, because some sort of sign stealing scandal that he got caught for, and he's been banned for I don't even know how long.
So coach of the Baltimore Ravens' brother is the coach of the Michigan Wolverines, which is the team we were just talking about. And there's a wide investigation going on, which I think they've actually just now been convicted of for sign stealing, which is effectively like you give signals during the game to suggest plays and things like that, so the quarterback can hit, because they can't hear. So they would give them signs and things like that. You put like a donkey up on like a signal, and you're like, what the hell does that mean? That means a various amount of plays and things like that, combinations of signs and things like that. So they've had someone go to games to watch, and they've been watching film on it as well. And I think they're just they're taking the piss because he's got a drone phone in it. So
I think one of the pieces of evidence in that was the fact that one of the Michigan staff was photographed dressed as another team's coach and was on their sideline.
So they were trying to bait another team.
No.
They was trying to.
He was dressed. Was the other guy not there? Was the actual coach not there? What?
No, the coach was there. But there's so many players in the coaching staff.
So many players and coaching staff. How would you know? Just one person, one random person. Just in your
crazy.
What was it as well? He always had. So the same guy has been to loads of away games against their upcoming opponents, and he always has a seat on both sides because you don't know which side the team's going to be stood on. So he has a seat on either side of the stadium, so he could see either side. So he just waited to see where they were, and then he'd come out and go and sit on the right side.
That's crazy.
And then when they heard there was an investigation, his seats were empty at the next game, so it was just really bait. Just, what are you doing? Hilarious. But anyway, that's the explanation. Anyway, we'll jump on to the next one. So for me, Packers Chargers. Yeah, you told me I was going to bring it up. I had to bring it up. So it's not often we talk about the Packers in a good way. Let's be fair.
I can't remember last time we really mentioned the Packers.
We were complimentary at the start of the year. I think Jordan and I've had a couple of games where we were like, hey, he's playing well, he could be good, and then it's all dropped off as people were like, oh, he's playing a really simple brand of football. Okay, this is quite easy to defend against. But he had a nice game. He had a nice day. 27-40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Fairly efficient game. Nice. Packers get to 4-6, pretty much out of the playoff picture, but not terrible with young skill position players. I would say, not a terrible day, not a terrible season.
It's pretty terrible for the Chargers, man.
Garbage.
Garbage. Drop the Keenan Allen basically a touchdown drop.
Oh.
Just hit him in the chest. It's like I don't know. It's like he took the longest blink ever. He said,
Yeah.
and then just hit him in the chest.
Whacked off his chest,
Yeah.
innit?
Well, they said it's because the sun
Sun
was
was
in
in
his
his
eyes.
eyes.
The sun was really
Yeah.
like perfect angle to catch him in the eyes, but it did look rough.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
film.
And then-
Just,
And then Quinton Johnson dropping the ball on that game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
Like he
That
had a
was bad.
straight run in.
That was bad.
It's one of them ones where he started running before he even caught it. So he was already just sprinting without it and the ball was already on the floor.
The thing is, even if it wasn't going to be a touchdown, it would have got you in field goal range.
Yeah.
yeah.
It
Who
was-
did they pass on? Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I think so.
They passed on Zay Flowers and took Connor Johnson. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
You look
Zay
to
Flowers,
that
you-
bits, don't you?
Who you've had in your fantasy team all year.
Yeah. Cheers. Appreciate that. Let's move on.
Kriski, what did you like?
Well, you called it last week. Game of the week was Steelers Browns, and to be fair, I sat and watched the whole game, and as much as it was just a defensive masterclass, so it wasn't the most exciting game. It was actually just really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Just both teams limited to around 250 yards, and just defenses just killed it, and yeah, it was just really impressive. And then it did go down to a final drive and get a game-winning field goal, but for a score to be 13-10, never thought I'd actually enjoy a game like that.
Yeah. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson as the backup QB as well. Like, had
Yeah.
more yards than Kenny Pickett, didn't he?
Oh, don't talk about Kenny Pickett, man. That guy
I just
stinks.
thought I had to mention it.
That guy stinks.
Cool. We'll jump straight on to moment of the week. So I'll just jump in first. DeVito's touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley was nuts.
That was nice.
Like, I think if like Mahomes had done it, you'd have just been like, that's just Mahomes. But DeVito, who we've been knocking on all year, no one's been like, this guy's amazing. I mean, you've just said he's that guy, but this is the first time he's actually had a game where you'd be like, oh, he's actually playing quarterback, and that's not like the kicker who's trying to play his best. Like, it was a nice throw. It looked
was a
so
very
chill
nice
doing
throw.
it. Just
Yeah.
flicker the wrist right over the top, like, and to the running back as well, which is crazy as well. So, no, really nice play. Dami, what do you like?
For me, so it was the moment of the week. It's not a very nice moment of the week, but it's the fact that Rashad Rice, she snapped her finger's ACL with that jink. Like, and normally, so you know when in basketball, when they do a crossover and they say, oh, he broke that person's ankle, the way he did that to her finger was so bad because her finger's leg was like, he tried to anticipate it and he kind of just got stuck and it was like, oh.
This is your moment of the week.
Yeah, so you're seeking
you got
joy
problems.
out
No,
of...
no,
You've got
it's
problems.
it's not it's not, because that's a big loss for the
Did he
49ers.
actually snap his ACL?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he snapped his ACL.
Yeah, he's
It's
up.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Whole,
big.
He was on skates.
That is
Yeah.
big for the 49ers.
I saw him like
he's a
break his
great
ankle.
safety.
Yeah.
I didn't realise
he
he
snapped it. He tore his ACL.
I didn't realise he'd actually torn his ACL by doing a cut that dirty.
Is that what you think happened to me?
No, you were stood completely
Yeah.
still.
I can't remember.
I would have been
Yeah.
way better. At least someone had done something.
Yeah, but that's the moment of the week because that could really impact the 49ers defense for the rest of the year.
I saw a stat that was Rashad White has more caused missed tackles of the whole year because
Really?
he's just in open field. He's been cutting people and juking them
Yeah.
most
Wow.
out of anyone.
It'd be Bijan if they actually played him.
Yeah, but he's gone somewhere. I don't know where. He's gone.
I'm just taking a little vacation this season.
Yeah, pay me properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on like 4 bye weeks.
It's rough. It's rough. Rashad White having a good season. Anyway, Bids, talk to us about what you liked.
Oh, BCB,
Woo.
the return of Brock. My moment of the week is Brock Purdy being the first 49ers quarterback since Joe Montana in 1989 to post a perfect passing rating of 158.3.
It's not bad company, that isn't it? Yeah. I wonder.
And I'm just curious by the whole passer rating stat because I know a lot of pundits don't really respect it that much, and I can understand that because the criteria to get it is sort of strange. So you have to have at least 10 passing attempts, 0 interceptions, a minimum pass completion of 77.5%, minimum of 11.875 of their passes scored are touchdowns, and a minimum of 12.5 yards per attempted throw, which is such a weird
It's rogue.
I've never actually understood
set
that.
Yeah.
It's really
criteria
complicated
to
formula.
hit.
Yeah.
But the formula itself is even more complicated than that. There's a lot more that goes into
Yeah.
it than just that.
I've looked into that.
It's
formula.
nuts,
It's
we
a
spoke
it's
about
a
it at the start of
mess.
the season, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
you had
mess.
the formula, and we were
Yeah.
like, we're not even touching that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. He's the 80th person. No, he's the
66.
There's been 66 people to do it, but he's the 80th. He's the 80th. So
it's
I think
Divisonal.
Tom Brady's done it like
yeah,
3 or 4
right,
times.
yeah.
I can't remember who it was. I was looking through the list earlier, and some person's done it like 4 or 5 times.
Wow.
I think the last was Lamar. I think it was this season as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
But yeah.
yeah, any pushback on that performance, Ben, this week? Good for the anti-Brock club?
Look at
The perfect passer rating.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's perfect.
Did you hear the perfect?
he is a fine quarterback.
That's an
He has some
improvement.
talent.
That's an
He
improvement.
has some talent. I think what will be really interesting is if he can stay healthy and see how they do in like the playoffs when people change things up, it gets into harsh conditions. Like I really want to see that because I'm still not convinced, but I want to be convinced, and I'm not convinced in some of these regular season games where you put up like 30 points. It's like okay, like he threw one pass to Ayuk and Ayuk ran 75 yards, and I was like, okay, like. Ayuk's clearly nuts, and the coverage was absolute garbage. It's like I don't know how I should be taking this. You know what I mean?
75 yards.
Well,
75 yards.
Was it?
75-yard play.
Yeah.
Was it the one where I think it was Dean was tracking Ayuk and he fell over trying to track him and then Ayuk just walked it in?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but the moment before that, I still was 1-on-1, got past him, and then the ball
Literally
still has to be
over his
placed
shoulder,
into his lane.
Yeah.
Like that ball doesn't just drop there going, oh, you go run
No,
and grab that.
I know that. I'm just saying. I'm still not convinced, but I want to be convinced.
Okay.
So I think what I would love to see is what happens in the playoffs. Can he navigate a playoff run where you've got probably the best roster out of everybody, right? They are even odds right now with the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So he should be getting to the Super Bowl with that quality of roster, right?
Yeah.
If he can remain healthy, you would say with that quality of roster, and if he is the quarterback you claim him to be, then it should be a walkover in the Super Bowl.
They
Really.
were very close last year, despite injuries after injuries.
That's
so
what I'm saying. So can he get to the championship game and win that game without multiple interceptions or getting bailed out by the quality of players you have around you? But if he wins the
Watch
Super
this
Bowl,
space.
he'll get his flowers.
Yeah? Even
Yeah.
by you?
If he beats Patrick Mahomes, he'll get his flowers from me. 100%. You can go toe to toe and beat Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Alright. Noted.
Okay.
He'll get his flowers.
That's some high. That's a high goal target just to get his flowers.
But your roster is
Beat
better.
Mahomes.
But the roster is better than Kansas City's.
Yeah.
The roster in its entirety is better than Kansas City's. If Brock Purdy is as good as you say he is, they should easily be able to beat Kansas City because the rest of their team is better in basically every other position except 2. I would say 2.
Tight end and defensive end. Chris Jones and Travis Kelce.
Chris Jones and Travis Kelce. But is Mahomes better than Brock Purdy?
There's more experience. Yeah.
Wow! That's a experience.
You're not wrong.
Cool.
Jokes.
Cool. Just wanted to see what you'd say to
Yeah.
that. Alright, cool.
So,
Kriski.
yeah, I'll round us off before, and I'll try and keep it a bit lighter before Dami goes on his whatever Dami does.
Tirade.
Yeah. So my moment of the week was we mentioned briefly Dorian Thompson-Robinson got the game-winning drive, and boy, that meant a lot to him. Like you saw him on the sideline, he was emotional. His post-match was emotional. It's nice to see when a player has their moment in the NFL. I think they have signed a new quarterback, Joe Flacco, but he's had his moment, and it meant the world to him.
How
And
old is Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco signing is crazy.
Late 30s for sure.
It's not.
yeah.
Think of it this way, right? He got a big contract after he won the Super Bowl. Do you know what he did after the Super Bowl? Approximately nothing. Yeah. And then he's played for what? The Jets for a while. Like he's been back up at the Jets. Did you know he was at the Jets? No.
Was he wait,
He's
still?
still-
he was
recently,
Jets
yeah.
last
He just
year.
got signed. Yeah.
He was at the Jets last year.
Yeah.
He played last year.
Yeah.
You didn't even know he was on the Jets, and you know the Jets had bad quarterback play.
He was
Yeah.
one of their
They
4
thought he won it.
quarterbacks last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, lovely to see that. But
Yeah. So it was a nice one.
it is
So
a
was
nice one.
moment.
I thought a nice one to finish before we hand over to Mr. Positive.
Just quickly on that though, we spoke about UCLA Bruins last year playing really, really well, and he was their QB. It was him and Zach Charbonnet, I think.
Oh,
at
really?
UCLA. So Zach Charbonnet's
wow.
now the Seattle
Okay.
Seahawks. Yeah,
Nice.
those two were nuts good at
Yeah.
UCLA.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't know.
I can double check it, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But anyway, we'll get on to the best segment
The best segment of the week.
in all of sports media.
So like, this is where Dami just like takes all his anger built up from
Yeah.
last week and just
Yeah, watching the Giants get destroyed every week makes me want to just tell people to fix up. Anyway, so first of all, I'm going to start with Nathaniel Hackett. His offensive play calling is putrid.
Sorry?
Putrid. It is honestly awful. Like,
Why?
I get it. Zach Wilson and the O-line, they're both really, really bad. But there's no creativity. There's no ability to sustain drives. You've got Brees Hall. You've got Garrett Wilson. You've got, I know Lazard's not great, but you've still got Lazard. You've got Conklin. And they just are not able to create anything. They haven't scored touchdowns in their last 3 games. And the thing is, now Russell Wilson, bear in mind, Russell Wilson looks good now in Denver. So now what Sean Payton was saying about Nathaniel Hackett, it might actually be true. He might be one of the worst coaches in the league. Because now he's actually looks like a really good quarterback, Russell Wilson. He has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the league. So
random stat. Is that a regular stat?
Yeah, that's a regular stat. Yeah, because if your ratio is low, then it shows that you're a very messy quarterback, and you don't know how to protect the ball. So yeah, Nathaniel Hackett, you need to fix up.
Just before you move on, just to quickly touch on Zach Charbonnet, he was for the UCLA Bruins. In that final year, he was nuts. Well, he's final his 2 years at UCLA. In his final year, he played in 10 games. He rushed 195 yards for 1,359 yards, which is 7 yards per carry and 14 touchdowns. He was nuts, which is why
that's a lot of yards.
He was great. He was great that year, and he was really good the year before that as well. With the two of them, DTR, yeah, they played well. Anyway, sorry. Who else is on the fix-up list apart from Nathaniel Hackett? He destroyed that man's career.
So Bids' boy Brandon Staley. This guy has created the worst pass defense in the league. The second worst total defense in terms of yards per game, behind the Broncos. And the only reason why the Broncos are worse is because they gave up 726 yards in one game.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then he has the unmitigated gall
I know you're going to talk about the press conference.
to have a go at the reporter in the presser to stop asking him questions about whether he's going to be calling plays. And he said he's going to continue calling plays. Maybe he shouldn't. Maybe that's how he can keep his job, if he stops calling plays.
But it's still his fault if they don't go to play.
He was so mad.
No, but because then if he's not calling plays, they can go, we'll just fire the defensive coordinator and get a better one because it's not on the coach. He is not doing what he was brought there to do. Make the defense better, make the team better.
He's a defensive coach.
He's a defensive coach. He's got defensive history. He is not making it better. They are so bad. They have the second worst defense yards per game in the league.
It's an expensive defense as well. It's expensive.
Yeah.
He's going to lose his job unless he finds a way to fix up.
Yeah, if the Chargers don't find a way to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's no chance.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but if they don't get into the playoffs with that team,
No chance.
expensive defense, good skill position players, and I mean, Eckler looked so in that game.
Yeah, he did.
But
Oh, he needed to unhook the trailer because he was not moving.
I don't know. This is going to be quite an old reference, but I saw a comment from someone who said he looked like prime Eddie Lacy. I don't even remember what Eddie Lacy was like, but he played for the Packers, and he was just massive. He was just trucking,
Seriously.
looked like he was working hard to run.
Yeah, Eckler made that run. He was like in clear daylight, and then he made it look difficult. He got caught quick.
Looked like he was getting jogged after.
I thought he got injured. I thought he had pulled a hamstring or something. He was he was running as fast as he
The
could.
DB looked baffled.
Yeah, he was like, what are we doing here?
But yeah, they got skill position players. They got defense. Yeah, it's not looking great. It's not looking great.
Brandon Staley needs to fix up. And then lastly, it's Kenny Pickett. He has a 35.8 QBR. That's the fourth worst QBR in the league. The three below him, one is Bryce Young, and the other two have been benched. And the other two have been benched. So that just shows you. And also, Tommy DeVito, who's actually played, I think he's only played 2 or 3 full games. He has the same amount of touchdown passes as him for the season.
So what? That's his QBR for the whole season.
Yeah, 35.8.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's not very good.
He is awful.
Yo.
Like, don't get me wrong, Matt Canada, not a great offensive coordinator, but he has so many weapons. He has Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, both adequate pass catchers. He also has Johnson, Pickens, and Freiermuth.
Yeah.
and he can't make plays.
Primary's been in and out of the team.
Yeah, but he still has
granted,
Johnson and Pickens, right? And I think he's got Robinson as well. The guy can't make plays.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he has the arm talent. Doesn't look like he can actually throw that far. And when the plays are open, he's not making the passes.
Yeah, I saw a thing that was which is a really valid point, is that he's a Pitt guy, as in like he played at the University of Pittsburgh, so they're never going to be able to get rid of him. You've gone for him now, and you can't. He should be benched.
Yeah.
You can't bench him now
Yeah.
because he's a Pitt guy.
Do you know who his backup is?
Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh.
Who's even worse.
But Mitch Trubisky was a former #1 pick.
Yeah, but he's bad.
Yeah, he is bad, but
bad.
but
Look at Bryce Young, man. He's #1 pick this year, and he's bad.
But if this was the Patriots, they'd have dropped him.
Oh, 100%.
Do you know what I mean? If this was any other team, they would have dropped him. But because he's a Pitt guy, and I guess they're also like, Matt Canada can't coach. Like, they're not blaming it on him.
Yeah.
So
Most of the blame's going to Matt Canada right now, but Kenny Pickett's not the guy. He's really not the guy.
True.
So yeah, that's my fix-up list. So we'll start with Bits. You got anyone else to add?
I'm gonna start with the Giants O-line.
Yeah.
Yeah, we mentioned 9 sacks in the game, but did you know that 5 of them were in the first quarter?
Ooh.
5 in the first quarter.
But that makes that comeback even better from DeVito, right? He gets popped 5
I mean,
times
it
in the
does,
first
but-
quarter, and he then still goes
5 in the first
I didn't
quarter?
realise it's 5 in the first quarter.
That's your starting O-line,
That O-line is garbage.
and they're meant to be fresh. They're just not.
I'm
Come
not
out of the locker
surprised.
room,
They're
yeah.
the reason why Daniel Jones nearly broke his neck, and they're the reason why Tyrod Taylor's got fractured ribs. So
Yeah,
wow.
DeVito. If
that
DeVito
doesn't
lasts the
surprise me.
season, this would be
Yeah.
impressive.
That doesn't
It's 9
surprise me at
sacks.
all.
is not
Like, how much
sustainable.
time would you even have had the ball in offense to get sacked 9 times? Probably like, I don't know, like 7, 8 minutes? Maybe?
I don't know what to tell you.
He was
Yeah.
running for his life.
He really is. Just
Yeah.
Running
I
for
don't
his
know what to
life.
tell you, man.
Yeah, but I'll do that. I've got a couple of smaller ones, quick ones. One is Hopkins again.
You really
Because
hate him.
every time I drop him, he scores a touchdown. This guy just sitting on a bench with 15.9, and I got 7s and 8s in my fantasy team. What's his problem? Honestly, if anyone wants to trade, I'm trading them away.
You should actually just put yourself on the fix-up list.
Yeah.
You actually should.
I'm like 2nd in fantasy league. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
that's not going to stay. Although the
No, I'm
matchup
gonna
tonight,
lose
that
today.
matchup tonight,
That's nuts.
juicy,
Yeah.
juicy matchup.
Yeah, down to Hurts against Mahomes.
You're down.
I'm down 6.
Winner takes all. I love it.
That's juicy. I
Yeah.
hope your brother wins.
I was
Team gay.
I was tempted to put Purdy in front of him as well. And Purdy got what 26 point something or 29 or something.
Yeah, that's a good score.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
played well.
And the last one we mentioned him, but Austin Eckler, like
Slow, man.
slow,
I need to see this.
slow.
We'll post the clip.
Like you saw Tyreek Hill breezing past everybody, got the ball. Eckler was like going half his speed.
Just stuck in absolute treacle.
Oh
Just like,
man,
Oh, bless him.
it was jokes.
Bless him.
Wasn't funny to watch, but it's funny. Yeah, that's my
Alright.
fix up.
Kriski, who you got?
I hate to be up on the Chargers again.
What's your problem?
No, okay, it's just a little addition because I realise that this is their 5th loss this season by 3 points. That's like alarming.
So the opposite of the Vikings from last year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'll add to that, even though it's negative towards my team? In the last 6 games, we've lost 5 of them, and we've lost by a combined points total of 14 points.
That's just insane.
Right.
Like I just don't know how you can't close out and like you get. I know I appreciate the odd game, but that consistently you just can't close out games. Especially like you had the chance to get like a couple of takes.
We should have won that game against.
But
When it's consistent,
Like,
like that, it means it's coaching.
yeah,
It's coaching.
there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my just quick little addition.
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
fix
that
up.
added to it. Don't know why.
and then I'll round us out. So I think we can all agree Sam Howell's having a good year.
He is.
Like, he's still leading in passing yards, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think even after how bad that week was. But 3 picks, and he loses to the Giants. 3 picks.
It wasn't just a loss, man.
Yeah.
They got
Lost
beat
by
down.
like 12. Like, lose to the Giants twice. So you've lost the Giants in both your games. It's not great, put it together, but They've only won 3 games, and 2 of them are against you.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
I told you about these divisional matchups, man.
I get it, but you lose both of them. They've got 3 wins, and 66% of their wins are just against you as a player. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I
Early
think
team, man. They just can't, you
man.
can't help it.
that was rough to watch. So Sam Howell just needs to fix up a little bit. But he's having a really good year. I think he just needs to get away from playing the Giants because that seems to be his bogey team for some reason.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Being as you could sack him 9 times and can't beat him. Like, that's crazy to me. Anyway, Biz, talk to us. Who got injured?
There was quite a lot again. Quite a lot of significant ones. We've already mentioned Burrow's wrist ligament injury, which puts him out for the season. We've mentioned Andrew's injury in the same game. An ankle injury / leg fracture. I think it's a bit uncertain at the moment, which is likely to put him out for the season. Hafungo we mentioned again. ACL out for the season. And I've actually forgotten what number we were on. 20-something.
27, something like that.
But just on ACLs, like just every sport around the world, there's ACL percentages are just going up like crazy. In football, there was a couple recently. Gavi's just torn his ACL. He's gonna miss he's gonna miss the Euros. He's gonna miss the Olympics. He's gonna miss the rest of the season. It's just something needs to be done. There's been a lot of injuries in every sport. Joey Bosa got carted off for a foot injury, Achilles fracture, ankle, something unsure, but he didn't look happy at all. You know when an injury is bad because you can see it on their face. Devon Achen, on his return from his MCL sprain, looks like he's re-aggravated it straight away in his first drive. So not great. Cooper Kupp can't really stay fit. This one was an ankle injury, but he could potentially be back. It wasn't a hip drop one, but someone just fell on his ankle and rolled it. Geno Smith, he's quite lucky because the injury that happened to Brock Purdy looks like the similar sort of thing as he was passing the ball. Aaron Donald popped him, slapped the arm back, but he seemed like he was alright. I think he got replaced by Drew Lock for I think for the rest of the game until like the last snap. But it should be fine. Kenneth Walker with an oblique injury. It seemed innocuous. It didn't seem like anything really happened, but I guess when it's your obliques in the upper body, sort of anything can just pop. So he's potentially out for a couple of weeks, and then Aaron Jones, another sort of knee injury, MCL sprain, uncertain, but shouldn't be too long out.
He's had a rough year, Aaron Jones.
Yeah, he's not been.
He hasn't been able to get consistent games together.
Nope. Cool. All right. Thanks, Bids. Let's take a quick break to pay some bills. The Fantasy Gameday app is a way to play weekly monetized fantasy NFL. Use the code MMQBU, deposit £7.50 and enter a lineup, and you'll get a free $7.50 to play with. We tried it out again this week. We've been playing a few weeks now. It's been getting good. Bids has been doing unreasonably well. He had a, let's say, questionable at best week. So we'll go on to our new winner, Dami. Talk to us. How was your week? Break it down for us.
So in the last week, I came 27th out of 175.
It's not bad.
So not as good as Bids.
Back to back fifth.
He's irrelevant now, man.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
Don't worry about that.
Old news.
So, but I won a cash prize of nearly £20 for coming 27th.
Nice.
Tank Dell, Jalen Warren, Jameer Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. They all got 20 plus points. Amon-Ra St. Brown was my captain. So it was a really good week. A welcome relief from Fantasy NFL, where I get my arse beat every week. And I'm currently 9th out of 10. So I'm happy to play Fantasy Game Day. Normally Fantasy Game Day is only for the 6 PM and 9 PM windows on Sundays. However, this week, Thanksgiving week, there's a special game day for Thanksgiving, meaning you select players from the 4 games on Thursday and Friday. All of them are division matchups, and you know what I say about divisional matchups, so pick wisely. Alright, so starting with Bids, who are you going to pick as your captain for the Thursday-Friday games?
There's only 4 games as you mentioned, but I'm still going to go with old trusty CD Lamb. He let me down a bit this week. I think he still scored a touchdown, but just very little receiving yards. But I'm still going to go with CD Lamb.
Okay. Kriski?
I've gone Tyreek. I know it's against the Jets, not a bad defense, but it's got to be a safe-ish pick, surely. I'm due a decent decent score.
Yeah, you'll notice that we haven't spoken about Kriski's ranking in any of these.
Consistently.
It's not been the worst, because every
yeah.
time we've been commenting on the worst performer, but you've always just been
Second
pretty
worst.
bad.
Yeah, the second worst, consistent.
Hey, you'll pick it up. Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill's a baller.
Yeah.
Unguardable. I like Allen Rice and Brown. I just
Stole Dami's pick.
he seems to be unstoppable. He just goes to him constantly. So I think he's a good pick up against the Packers team that's generally been good against the pass, but I think this one gets away from them. So yeah, Dami, who'd you like?
For me, it's got to be Christian McCaffrey. He gets over 15 attempts at rushing a game. Plus he gets targets in the passing game as well, and he's normally good for a touchdown or two. So yeah, Christian McCaffrey for me, for sure.
Cool.
Of course, there will also be the Sunday games as well, where you can do the 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. We will not mention that on today's one. We will do a separate video where we'll talk about who we're going to pick. But yeah, that is the Fantasy Game Day Roundup.
Nice one. So again, use MMQBU, deposit $7.50, and you'll get a free one after you submit your lineup. So yeah, now let's get back to the episode. Let's get into next week's slate of games. Dami, game of the week. What do you like?
For me, it's Jaguars at Texans. So divisional matchup. The Texans are rolling. They're 6-4. The Jaguars are 7. I think they're 7-3.
Yeah.
So this game is for the division really. So the Texans already have the head-to-head when they beat the Jaguars by 20 at the start of the season. So the Jaguars need to win this game, or else they could be looking at being second seed in their own division, and then ended up having to go through the wild card round, which is not what they expected at the start of the season.
They would take it.
Oh,
Would they take it? Would they take it at this point? Is the question.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, you would always take a playoff spot, but
When you've got
after
a rookie
they
quarterback, definitely. You don't know what to expect from him later in the season, do you?
Yeah.
Like, anything could go off the rails on this one.
Could have had a Bryce season.
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
So yeah, on this game then, just asking for a mate who might have both quarterbacks in his fantasy team. Who do you start and who are you backing? Just asking for a mate, you know.
I don't know. Both quarterbacks had a really good game this week.
I was going to say, you saw Trevor Lawrence played after you spoke ill of the man. You spoke ill of the man. He had a passer rating similar to Tommy DeVito, man. He had 130 passer rating as well, I think.
Yeah, but the Titans suck.
And it's not 158.3.
We're just talking about Brock Purdy in that conversation.
Yeah. I don't.
Interceptions.
Do you know what? I can't give you advice on that. You're going to have to choose with your heart.
I'd take CJ Stroud.
Choose your heart.
I'd take CJ.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright.
I'd take CJ.
He's been consistent. And he's been hitting Tank Dell. Doesn't seem to matter where Tank Dell is in the
Honestly.
field.
And you
If he's
said
not
it
even
last,
looking, just
and you said it last week as well, he hadn't got crunched. Yeah. There was a huge hit on CJ Stroud, and the next play, third down, he just lofted one. Got the first down, I was like,
Yeah.
Ben?
bounce back, man, bounce
Yeah,
back.
he got hit hard.
Yeah.
The
bad.
guy's got it.
I said like that'll be his defining moment is if he can get that hit back up and like roll it and just be like, look, firm it and just charge it and back on.
yeah.
He could be real. Like he could be
did,
really
he
real.
did throw 3 picks yesterday, but
Yeah.
overall, I think he still had a very positive game.
Yeah,
they got
yeah.
the win. They won ugly
They
as
got-
well,
they
which
got out
was
there
positive.
with the
So
win.
Throw 3
yeah.
bricks and
Yeah.
still get the win, and you
Yeah.
still play well in the game. Like that would knock most rookie players. Like
honestly, yeah, big fan. So he might get the start this week. So.
he gets in the playoffs. He could win a playoff game. You know, he's
Mm.
dangerous. And if he can get his receivers healthy. Because that's the thing, Noah Brown was out after having a big game last week. Nico Collins is just back from an injury and he got popped in that game as well.
Yeah.
He got hit. So if he can get his 3 main receivers healthy and if he can keep Dalton Schultz rolling, who seems to be just unguardable right now,
He's cooking.
they could win a playoff game. I think they'll probably stop there, but that game win would be big.
Fair enough.
I like Eagles Bills.
Me too.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't like it because I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Eagles are going to win comfortably. But just for you, Dami, I'm going to try and count on one hand how many interceptions Josh Allen throws in this game.
Oh,
Because he's got a new offensive coordinator and he still threw one this week.
I mean, credit to him, it was a Hail Mary attempt.
It was a Hail Mary.
But that's if you're going to throw a pick, that's
Still
gonna-
went on my bet slip as a pick for it. A win is a win. Is green. Green is green.
but-
You know, everyone throws on the Eagles' defense, right?
Yeah, he'll throw and he'll get picked.
yeah.
So I want to see if it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4.
I mean, I think Sam Howell in 2 games the Washington Commanders in 2 games against the Eagles, they've averaged like 33 points a game against them.
Yeah, the Bills could put up like 25 points, but the Eagles will put up like 40 on the Bills. And if he keeps throwing picks, I want to see how many pick sixes go in as well, because that would be interesting if he throws a couple pick sixes. Does that count as double in terms of him dropping down the rankings from your top 4? Or like, as a pick 6, does that look worse?
Kriski's gonna put out my top 8 quarterback rankings on X this week, and you'll see where Josh Allen is on my list.
If he's even on that top 8, it's a problem.
he'll be in the top 8 for sure.
He'd love 8 interceptions on the season.
Wow.
Yeah, he's already over.
Okay.
Way over.
Yeah. It's why do you like the Eagles Bills, mate?
I think actually it'd be a good game, but
Yeah.
Ben apparently doesn't. He thinks
I
it's gonna
think it's going to be wildly entertaining.
Yeah. Go on, Kriski, what you got?
49ers Seahawks. So another divisional matchup. A tough test for Brock. Go to Seattle. So yeah, that's why I like that game. I do think the 49ers probably do come out on top. They just seem a little bit too strong both sides of the ball now. But yeah, I think it's going to be another, especially Seahawks a bit inconsistent over the last few weeks. So I think they are due a big performance, but it'll be a good test. So we shall see.
In Seattle, Geno's health, I think, is the...
Yeah.
If he comes in, if he's fine after that, then that could be an interesting game. The 49ers just bounce back after those 3 losses in a row.
Yeah,
It's just as dominant as before the 3 games.
Yeah, but now they're missing Hafunga, who was a special player for them on the defense.
I mean, I think they're still
Yeah, they're stacked.
bit of depth in that defense.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Seattle, they've got a bit of depth in their defense as well.
Their defense is very good.
No, that defense
Devin
sucks,
Witherspoon.
man. I picked him again. I just have bad luck. I picked him in my fantasy team. I'm just streaming defenses now, and I'm pretty sure they conceded like straight away. This was last week. Conceded straight away. Lions defense is meant to be pretty good. Conceded straight away against the Bears. I was like, what's happening?
I was gonna say you probably should have picked the Bills because the Bills were available on fantasy. No one picked them up.
No, you don't want that.
Well, they conceded 6 points to the Jets, so you should have.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Forget the
He threw
Seahawks.
the same number of picks as Zach Wilson. No. One apiece. That's all I'm saying.
Nah.
Cool. All right, we'll jump on to bold take. So we don't always do this every week. We do 1 or 2, but I think most of us have got one this week. So we'll jump straight into Kriski. I love this segment, by the way. We just go rogue with it. So Kriski, talk to us. What's your bold take?
Denver to make the playoffs.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And there is kind of logic because Bills are 6 and 5, Steelers are provisionally in the playoffs, but are they going to drop out? And then it's like, who takes that last spot? It's very tight, and you never know. Denver, first time they've won 4 in a row since 2016. So
That's a terrible stat.
Terrible
stat.
stat. That's
bad,
a
innit?
bad stat.
like, so yeah, Denver could sneak in if they carry on like this. Sean Payton, Russell finally starting to click. So that is my quick bold take. And
Okay.
I don't think it's too outrageous.
Interesting.
It's not a bad take at the moment because they actually look quite good. Their defense has improved significantly, and
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's playing well.
Mine is a little bit contradictory to that. Like, it's not completely contradictory to that, but it does contradict your Steelers take. So, I've got the Bengals will only win 1 more game this season.
No, their season's done.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
1 more game.
Yeah.
Which
It's
game
quite a
is
lot of
that?
games.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So, they already had a rough schedule. No Burrow, like we've said before. And they play some rough defenses. I think they might get a win against either the Colts or the Steelers, but not both. There'll be one of them, possibly. Maximum 1 game. But I've said here, I think the Steelers look relatively sharp. Like, the defense is good.
Yeah.
That defense is really good. And they lost a close one against a very good Browns defense. Yeah, we've knocked on Kenny Pickett and they didn't put up points, but who puts up points against that Browns team? Like, not many teams. So I don't know. I think the Steelers probably will get into the playoffs, but I like the Denver take still. I think that's going to be a really close one. But Bengals are done, but not just done, they're done. Like, they are bottom of that division, no question. And if they get 6 wins, I think that'd be impressive.
Yeah.
Like, would any of them pick them to be 6 and 11 on the season?
Yeah, that's right.
11 losses. That's what I'm seeing here. I've looked through the schedule. I'm like, are you beating them? No. Are they beating the 49ers at this point? No. Are they beating the Chiefs? No. Like,
Not with Joe Brown in there.
they play the Browns again.
I mean, every other quarterback is getting injured, so if all these other quarterbacks get injured, they won't have a chance.
But half
the
the
year
team,
of the backups.
but half the teams they're playing, it almost doesn't matter if their quarterback gets injured because they're playing the Browns again. They're playing the Steelers again.
Yeah, true.
They're playing
Pickett is
the
basically
Colts.
a
The
backup.
Colts are already running on backup QBs, so it doesn't seem to
Yeah.
matter. Kansas City is the one that maybe, without Mahomes, what do they really look like? But
maybe Blaine Gabbert isn't doing it for me.
yeah, I'm not sure about that.
What's his name again?
Blaine Gabbert.
Never heard that guy's
Blaine.
Blaine.
Dami, what's your take?
So mine is that the Lions will be the number 1 seed in the NFC and play the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
Now that's the bold take. They will obviously be the number 1 seed because they're balling.
Yeah, they're balling. The rest of their schedule is light.
Yeah,
I think the
not
hardest team.
obviously, but-
I think the hardest team they have to play against is maybe the Vikings. Don't quote me on that, but I think it is the Vikings. I think the Eagles lose a couple of games because they actually have the Eagles have a pretty tough schedule. They've still got to play the Cowboys. They've still got to play they're playing the Chiefs tonight. I think they play the Bills. The Bills they're not great, but they can sometimes show up. So yeah, I think the Eagles drop 2 or 3 more games, but I think the Lions win out.
Lions play Cowboys.
Okay.
That's their tough. Then they've got 2 Vikings fixtures, both of them an away game at the end. So.
Yeah, so I think the Lions win out, maybe lose a game
Yeah.
out of their last game. So yeah, I think the Lions win, get the top seed in the NFC, and then they make it through to the championship game.
3 losses.
Yeah, I think so.
14-3 for
I
the
think
Lions.
so. I think they're going to absolutely destroy their division, for sure. And,
Fair enough.
yeah, so yeah, that's my bold take.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, them being the first seed actually would be really impressive because the Eagles are still 8-1.
Yeah.
49-7-3. Yeah, cool. Like that. Did you have one bids or are you
No, I just
struggling?
throw something random out.
Alright.
I don't know. MVP is going to be someone who's not won it before, and it's going to be someone who is completely unexpected, like CJ Stroud or Brock Purdy.
Brock. Oh, I'll be annoyed if Brock wins it.
Why? What's your beef?
I'll be annoyed
What's your problem?
because they're not gonna have the best records, and can you say he's the most valuable player in that team? No.
Perfect.
So what? How can you win MVP if you're not even the MVP of your team?
That's what I'm saying.
Quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback award.
Yeah.
That's the,
Yeah.
he is favoured ahead of Christian McCaffrey right now for MVP.
There you
Quarterback.
Yeah. But like,
CJ Stroud is crazy. He's 12-1. He's the 5th favourite for MVP right now.
That's nuts.
2 is ahead of him. Lamar's ahead of him. Jalen and Mahomes are 3-1.
Yeah.
Even out. 2 is not winning it.
Quarterback
Nah.
award.
CJ Stroud's been better than Tua. It's just because
Yeah.
CJ Stroud's a rookie.
Yeah.
And Tua had that crazy game.
Yeah.
And CJ plays
I mean,
for the Texans. They're not
CJ's
sexy
played
too.
crazy games as well. Yeah, I'll just throw it out there. Pick that out of nowhere.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
mean, I can see it happening, but I don't think it should.
Yeah, I like the CJ Stroud pick. I would like it to be CJ Stroud, but I think
Realistically.
I think also giving it to a rookie, I have my concerns with that, just because, like, obviously he may be the best player statistically at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's fair to give it to him. The only reason I think that is because it gets much harder in year 2, and everyone else is playing past year 1. Like, your first year is often the easiest opportunity because no one's got film on you.
Yeah.
It's all fresh, and I think it's much harder for teams to defend you. Next year, year 2, always gets harder. And I think if he has a crazy year 2, 100%. If this was his second year, I'd be like, yeah, definitely. He's in with a very good shout and should probably get it. But the problem is in year 1, I think that's just, we've spoken about it before. I just think year 1 is a bit of a gimme. It just gives you a little bit of an advantage, and I think that is why. That's why they don't give it to rookies. That's why he'll get offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Easy. He's already got it basically in the bag as long as he doesn't get injured now. But I think is he a more valuable player than Mahomes?
Depends how far they get, really.
No. Like Mahomes is that guy. Would you rather have him over Jalen Hurts? Like Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like it just that's what I'd say. But 100% he's been sensational.
Okay.
Cool. We'll finish up with my bankers, or not so much. So Thursday's results, Burrow got injured in the second quarter. So, I mean, you have to charge that because Tyler Boyd finished with 3 receptions from 6 targets, which he had in the first half. Like,
Ouch.
so I was like, cool, he's already got 3 receptions. This is definitely coming. I only need to get 2 more. Sigh. Like, he didn't get targeted, I don't think, in the second half. Or if he did, it was once. He was 3 of 5 when I last checked going in, and then Burrow went down. I was like, well, this is screwed, isn't it? So just gonna have to accept that one. Like, otherwise, that was definitely coming in. If Burrow is healthy the rest of that game, that's definitely coming in. He was loving Tyler Boyd in that game. And then our results from Sunday: Garrett Wilson got double teamed the whole game, and Zach Wilson just couldn't make a throw. He got targeted 8 times, 2 catches for 9 yards.
Yeah, that's why he's getting benched.
Like,
Yeah.
It's rough. Like he needed 7 catches, and I needed to get 7 catches for that bet. It's just is what it was. The rest of it came in again. Like we're pretty close on these generally. Like we've been saying every week. Like we're not like losing the entire thing. Like we're just losing by 1 or 2. I mean that was quite a big loss with Garrett Wilson just because he got targeted 8 times. Like that's solid.
Catch the ball.
Yeah. Just catch it, man. But I mean he was getting absolutely pummeled in that game. He was getting like ball all the way up here trying to catch it one hand and getting leveled. It was just he was getting high load all game. It was rough. So as always, the Thursday picks will be up by the time this video is up, and then the Sunday picks will be up on Saturday.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, nothing from me tonight.
Ready for Thanksgiving?
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Absolutely, for our American listeners. Enjoy your Thanksgiving Thursday. Give me some big games actually, so you'll hear from us a little bit earlier in the week this week on some of the stuff that's coming up. Thanksgiving games always a good one. 5:30 kickoff for the Lions game.
Oh, yeah.
Finish
Lions
work.
Packers.
Yeah, Lions versus Packers. Yeah.
Finish work straight on that, and then no work Friday because
Yeah.
too busy tired.
3 games in a row, 5:30 all the way through till 4 a.m. So enjoy that, and as always, catch you in the next one.